What is up, down, and sideways, beautiful creatures of this earth? It's another episode of League Unlock. Mark over there, Eric right here, and we're in the thick of the playoff race now. And it's not the playoff race; it's just the playoffs. The race has started. It's fully in effect. After their upset against E-Star, World Elite move forward. Their next challenger of the incredibly difficult gauntlet that is LPL playoffs. They got matched up against top eSports, and that game is probably, that series is the biggest example of a mid difference you will ever see in a professional series. Ever.
Oh, man. It was exactly, top esports. They heard the news that, man, you know what? We're going to maybe get a little bit of an extra slot here for Worlds for the LPL. And they realized, hey, we've just missed it the last couple of years. This is our chance. We are booking our ticket to Worlds, boys. And they brought in a Worlds level of performance against World Elite. And hey, man, props to World Elite. They showed up and actually looked a lot better, a lot more competitive than I think anyone would have expected them to, even with considering like, you got past E-Star. This top esports team is a totally different beast than what you were going up against, especially with the addition of Jackie Love. The task was too much for them to be up to for here, but man, they absolutely stepped up to the plate at least today. And this was a series. This had some interesting tense moments to it here, but for sure, as you said here, the biggest difference in this series, and one that was a difference in every single game here and was almost always at the top of your mind, was the mid difference here. Knight just was completely on top of the game here.
Game one, it looked like it should have been smooth sailing for top. They were fully in control, and then a couple of highly suspect calls, objective movements around the map, which is the main weakness that you can talk about on this TES roster. Even with Jackie Love coming in, taking over some of those shot calling duties, they end up giving up a Baron, and then there's this, Knight, you grab 2 inhibs on the Echo while we're pushing. Actually, please recall, it's 5 of them with Baron ending the game, and they end up just losing the first game.
Right, it's not entirely perfect, obviously, the plays from top esports and what we were getting through here, but still, you could just tell the difference here in the level of play that at least Knight specifically, but the rest of the squad was bringing to the table on the Rift.
And game 2, it was a rough start for Karsa on the Lee Sin with a completely botched first blood
That's
attempt.
not how you want it to go.
He flashes and then he's stunned instantly, doesn't get the final auto attack off, but he did have some nice kicks later on, and there was one dive around top where everything just went snowballing over to TES. 369 was just a pressure sponge this entire series. They were camping him quite a bit. It did not look like a fun time for him, but Jackie Love and Knight dominated game 2.
Yeah, this was what you wanted to see as a top esports fan. You saw your star players perform big time. The carries come through here and dish out that damage. This is the top esports, again, that we're hyping up here, that we keep talking about. This is one of those squads in the past couple of years just missing out on getting the Worlds. This is the type of talent, this is the type of plays that you have been missing out on seeing at that world level, knowing that these guys are just ready for their opportunity here, and they're looking good so far in these playoff runs.
Game 3 rolls around, and this is Knight gets Syndra. We've seen some disgusting play out of him on that Syndra pick. I felt bad for Teachama in this matchup because he got obliterated, but the ultimate feels bad. Knight gets to 23 stacks on the Syndra. He's deathless and then dies and ends up selling it.
Yeah.
Oh, one away. 1 stack away.
I'm going to be honest with you. That is maybe one of my favorite little things that you can kind of keep track of in these games, is when someone is so fed that they have Magi's and keeping track of the stacks there, making sure that you're building up that library as big as you can here in your own inventory. And so close to getting the full stacks there and all that power.
Knight finishes game 3 10, 2, and 12 on the Syndra. Teacherma on the Rumble 1, 11, and 7. That's rough, man. Yes.
This isn't really fair because we're talking about Knight, who's someone that has legitimately in the past 2 years or so been in the conversation always as one of the most skilled mid lane players in the world here. So certainly a tough ask here in this situation for WE, and man, Knight really brought it to them today.
Yeah, he absolutely did, and he did more of that in Game 4. He had the Corki mid. This match, I mean, some of the early game was definitely in favor of World Elite. They looked like they had a chance to get in this game, and then it was more kills for them in the mid lane, and eventually Jackie Love on the Varus with the piercing arrow steals Baron, and that was kind of the game-changing play or moment that got TES into the lead.
Yeah, that was certainly as far as getting the advantages for top, but it was also the kind of the arrow that breaks the back here for World Elite in that situation after such a series and having all these pretty decent efforts against the squad and not being able to really convert it aside from that first one. This was the one here where you saw kind of the looks and the play as it continued for World Elite that the energy had left the building for them in the sense that, man, Jackie Love stealing that one here. How much more can we do here? And of course, top uses that one to close it out.
Yeah, and 9-1-6 is what Knight finished on the Corki. He was full build at 29 minutes. He had 5 items. He went for a Phantom Dancer with the rapid fire, but that is nutty, man. Like, that is ridiculous damage to be doing pre-30 minutes.
Oh, man, it is beautiful to see them play this way because you know what's coming up next, man. It is a mega showdown with the likes of Invictus Game.
Oh, that is the dream matchup. Jackie Love versus his former team. The Shy rookie versus their former teammate. And two of the hottest teams in the entirety of the LPL. IG are probably still going to be favorites in that matchup. And you go across the lanes. The Shy is going to have an edge against anybody. Knight, can you give him an edge over Rookie?
You know what? I'd be hard pressed to do it over the course of the regular season because I think Rookie has absolutely shown up this year big time. But I mean, come on. Some of these performances that we've seen in the last 2 weeks out of Knight, he is absolutely, unquestionably at the top of his game right now at the time that it matters the most here for top in these playoffs. That's the one where, you know what, it is almost too close to call. But, man, I got to give that respect to my boy Knight and what he has been doing, the work that he has put in here. He has really showed up on the Rift.
For the bot lanes, I mean, Jackie Love, Puff, they're pretty comparable. There's obviously the huge storyline there that'll be going on between them. And GEN.G, probably not as good as Southwind, but for Jackie Love, all he's saying is, hey, man, it's not Balon. Like, I'm happy. As long as it's not Balon, I'm good.
This is rough. My boy Balan gets done dirty all the time by his best friend Jackie Love here, and he's a world champion. Come on.
They go out for coffee afterwards, but on the Rift, absolutely no ruthless.
Yeah.
The biggest matchup,
man, you gotta understand.
Yeah, the biggest matchup's going to be jungle though, because they're the biggest question marks for each team. Whoever has the better series probably gets their team the victory, whether it's Karsa or Lian.
Yeah, this is really the time to play here and time to step up here for Karsa. We've seen him struggle a little bit with the communication with the rest of the top squad here. And yes, it's gotten better over the last couple of weeks. And specifically in the playoffs, I think that is something that hasn't really been the concern that you'd be wanting to see maybe nitpick around here and improve for top. But man, heading into this series against Invictus Gaming and knowing some of the players that you're going to be going up against, this is a time here for Karsa to make a big difference in this matchup here. The experience that he has compared to Lian and everything here, this is the time for it to come up for value with top esports.
Are we going to get a Ning sighting in this series potentially, do you think? It's been a while since he played.
If things start going south here for IG, down in a corner here, I think that they take the chances on that coin flip.
Whew. It's a dangerous coin flip, especially post 2018. It feels like it's a 30-70 kind of coin flip. What kind of Ning performance you're gonna get?
Blabber stole the coin. That was the difference there. Blabber stole the coin.
And Tien is still stealing some of that as well. We talked about the last time on Wednesday. We said, man, wouldn't it be nice if the LPL got 4 seeds? Boom. Prayers have been answered. All it took was canceling MSI, but nobody likes that tournament anyways, right?
Unless you're G2.
Yeah, G2 does like that one. Honestly, it is sad that we're not going to get MSI. As per usual, it's going to be a lot of stacked teams that would be going. I mean, Cloud9 and G2 is enough for me to have been excited about that event, but what can you do if you're Riot? Like, you just weren't able to put this on.
No, this is completely out of the realm of possibility, even, trying to move heaven and earth type of situation here. It just isn't feasible with the global situation around the COVID-19 and things like that. You can't be doing a situation here, but if we're not going to get MSI, this is pretty darn good here, man. Getting a couple of extra squads into Worlds, and as we've already talked about here, Top is one of those squads that in the LPL that will be looking at this additional seeding spot here. They were already gunning for one of the 3 spots that they had originally here, but this addition of the 4th one, they've been so close the past couple of years, so close to getting Knight here to show off just how skilled he is on the world stage here for you fans. I think here with this addition here, it's pretty safe to say that we will get to see that.
And the LEC also getting a 4th team because based on previous performances at Worlds, obviously Fnatic and G2 back-to-back finals appearances. But I'll tell you, if I'm the LCK, I'm salty. You're lumping me in the same bracket conversation as North America when we just had all 3 of our teams get out of groups last year as first seeds. And we're the same as the squad that didn't get anybody out of groups. Come on.
Hey, man, the LCS has been trying for years so hard to just copy and be the LCK, and here we go. LCK, LCS equals. We're right here. The gap has officially closed.
Listen, the LPL getting a legitimate another squad who could potentially win the title. I feel like that's how strong that region is right now. Good luck, NA. Good luck. Like, it sucks for Korea that they don't get that extra chance, but will be super exciting to see that bonus squad.
Hey, it's awesome because the LPL, LEC, those guys getting an extra squad to send through, that's going to, well, maybe not talking about being bored to death here at Worlds, but we're going to get these squads here from these regions that have shown us that the top level squads are of a quality and level here that you want to see tested internationally. You can say that for the LCK, absolutely here, looking at who you think you might be getting. You can't tell me the exact same here for the LCS. I don't care who you're bringing up here. This year, we have not come even close to having 4 squads that you would want to be sending to Worlds to represent this region here. I think we're barely might be a little hard, but you put the 3 in that you would maybe have at the top.
Oh no, I think
here.
barely's fair for top 3 going to Worlds.
But that's the thing, right? Like, if anything here, it kind of feels like, man, like maybe you should have taken one away from NA and given it to the LCK here. I think, you know what? To be honest,
that's fair.
I think even a lot of NA fans would actually be in favor of that because they'd be like, man, you know what? Our team, it's not getting out of groups anyways. Let's just see another good squad.
Just save the disappointment. One less team you have to worry about.
Oh, man.
But
hey, those evil geniuses Worlds jerseys could be fire, so let's see them.
Live evil, baby. Live evil. I hope somebody like Mad Lions makes it, though, now with this extra spot, because they would be super fun to see on the international stage. Also, yesterday, it's a bit old news now, but we're going to talk about it anyways. LCK, All-Pro, and MVP. We knew that BDD had the most points, so he was going to get it. 3rd time he's captured that. He had the joint MVP with Kuro back in 2017, and then obviously won when he was on Kingzone/Longzhu. So shout out to him. The All-Pro squads, not too many surprises, I would say. First team, Nuggery in the top lane, which, he had some very bad games, but I guess the potential and the domination.
They really like those pop-off ones.
Yeah, I guess there was
that attack speed rise. That's what it was all about.
There was enough carry performances that I'm okay with him getting that spot. Clid and BDD, the focal points for Gen.G. That's fine. You could BDD. You might want Chovy and or Faker over him, but the guy did win MVP, so yes, he has to be first team. Teddy, absolutely, and Kyria, the rookie, first team support in his first split. Incredible year out of him.
Hey, we've seen him make unbelievable highlight plays almost on a weekly basis here for DRX. This is a very deserved reward here for him in this early split. And look, the rest of the squad, I don't know what else you want to say. Yeah, sure, maybe the Nagari one is a little bit strange sometimes to consider. Yeah, some of the poor performances that we have seen, but you are very right. The carry performances are very much there and very heavily weighed, obviously. But man, this is the top level squad, and what does it say really about the LCK and the performance that we've been getting from the mids this year? When you got BDD on the first team, you got Chovy on the second team, and your boy Faker finds himself on the third team. And Faker's been playing pretty darn well this split. It's crazy.
yeah, the top. I mean, obviously the top three is full of DRX, Gen.G, and T1 members. As we look at the second team, Rascal. The top laners are kind of a bit of a mess, to be honest, this split in the LCK. Cuz, absolutely deserving. Chovy, as you mentioned, gets that second team. And your boy Aiming gets some respect for the incredible season that he had with KT, making the second team ahead of Deft, ahead of Ruler, ahead of Viper. It's Aiming on that second team.
Oh, and that one feels good and deserved here to get him on this second team. The third team, you can understand it, but it would actually feel like a little bit of a slight given how much he has done this split here for KT, and the individual level really has been great from Aiming. And look, we've seen him deliver some pretty strong performances in the past with the Freak of Freaks and things, but hey, really getting it to pay off here for KT, being the one guy, really being the one to push them across here to get these victories.
And Effort makes up the final support spot. The second team support. He's continued to grow pretty much every split under the T1 wing. Third team, it looks rough now after their best of series with Doran in that third team ahead of Kana. I mean, this is pre-playoffs, guys. So
yeah, exactly.
Keep that in mind.
And look, you got to think that Kana was number 4. Kana was really right up there in this type of conversation. But you're right. To me, if you're going again like this is off of the regular split, Doran's got to lock up that third spot there just slightly.
And the biggest surprise on this entire list, Faker, Deft, the fact that they're third is a little bit crazy, and Life was also consistent for Gen.G. But your boy Bono on the third team All-Pro for junglers. The first few weeks we were talking about this guy isn't even an LCK level jungler, and he ends up finishing the split on the third team. I think this more, to me, speaks to the underperformance of somebody like Canyon and Tarzan on Griffin. But I think you can still put Piosik here over Bono.
I think you could make that argument for sure. I think that maybe, Bono is getting some of the credit here for the turnaround of KT, obviously, here in the success.
And he did play a lot better.
Right, and that was something that I wanted to say. Yes, as I said, that Aiming deserves the major share of the credit here for the success for KT. Bono is pretty close in that order for KT and getting the success turned around here. Is a player that gets a lot of criticism from us and other people here, but absolutely stepped up in this split to help them there. But I think you're right. It is more so a situation of, you know what, out of all the roles that we've had here, mid lane, ADC, where we've had everybody really step up and give us strong performances, strong enough that good performances from Faker and Deft, big star players, aren't landing them on that first team here, excuse me. This split from the jungle, we didn't quite see the same level in the LCK.
Mid lane and AD carry, I think, are clearly the most stacked position in the LCK right now, which is why guys like Ruler aren't even on the top 3. Didn't even make the list. Yeah. He's still a world-class AD carry.
You better believe that he's a world-class AD carry, and he still had a good split, but just not up to the level of superstar power performances that we were getting here. And this is, again, as we keep saying, this is the iteration and clear, examples that the LCK, at least in mid and ADC right now, are absolutely popping off.
Yeah, and I mean, Ruler, honestly, Gen.G just didn't play through him nearly as much as we saw when the team wasn't very good, where all they had was Ruler, throw everything in the Ruler basket. They got a pretty stacked roster now. They don't need him to carry as hard. Saturday's the big day. It might not be a berth at MSI on the line, but it is still an LCK title. T1 versus Gen.G. We got to preview a little bit of this action. We'll go lane by lane. Who do we think has the advantage in each of these matchups? And it's perfect after just talking about the all-pro teams because you had Rascal on that second team, but going up against Kana and what he just did to Doran, I'm probably giving the edge to Kana.
You got to give the edge to Kana. All aboard the Kana hype train. We've been talking about it across the split here. He's really made a difference here for T1 in this top side, being such a pillar of strength and a pillar that they can play around even here in this side for T1 has been really great. His performance in laning has been strong, and then especially around objectives and team fights, he has been exactly what the T1 squad has been wanting here. Coach Kim, again, grooming another top laner here, and this time got to give the edge to T1, even though, again, as you said, Raskell did a good amount of work here, getting himself on that second All-Pro team. Not enough to get our edge in this matchup here because Kana has been tearing the world apart here so far these playoffs.
And you've got to give an extra nod or edge to him, especially when it's on carries, based on what he's done in a small body of work, mind you, this split. But just avoid the Lucian. Yeah, he has a carry. Assassin, Burst, Bruiser, Mage. Ignore Lucian top. I don't want to see either team play that because it did not work out so far in playoffs. The jungle matchup, and listen, every matchup in this game, this series is going to be incredible, but the jungle has the best storyline because it's Clid against his former team and his replacement in Cuz, and they were clearly the two best junglers in the LCK. Hard to give an edge either way, although Cuz did look better in their last matchup.
History would tell you to say Clid here and go for that one. But you're going to be going off of the immediate performances that we've been getting here to close out the split and throughout playoffs. And that's got to go to Cuz here. The way that he has been performing really is what you want to be getting from your jungle. And the way that he is going to be going around the map, attacking Gen.G here for T1, I really think that this is going to play into the favor for the T1 side.
And Clid is prone to having the odd game where he's a little bit too slow, too passive in the early game. I expect him to absolutely show up in this series. Just remember what he did to Tarzan in some of those finals last year. I don't think he'll do that to Cuz, but this is probably the closest, or one of the closest. They're all pretty close again in this series, but it's hard to give a full edge either way. And when you go to the mid lane, I mean, Faker and BDD have been going head-to-head for a long time, a few years now. It's crazy how long BDD's actually been around now. And, you know, he got the better of Faker a couple times on Longzhu / King Zone. He's the MVP, the first team All-Pro. He's 2 pro teams better than Faker. And even if you give an edge to BDD, it's not much. You're not giving much because we know playoff Faker is a different demon.
Yeah, hey, it really has stepped up to the plate for T1 this playoffs especially. Yes, everyone has been giving out some star performances here, but Faker, as he has been, is the big-time flag carrier here for T1, be giving them the big performance that they need, the clutch plays at the clutch moments that they are needing in this playoff run. He is there once again for this squad. But you're right, it's hard pressed, even with Faker, even with history on his side, to pick him over BDD in the form that he has shown this split. The edge for me has got to go to BDD in this one. I think that he is going to have just a slight edge here over Faker.
Are we going to see 5 games of Azir from either one of them?
5 games of Azir Corki. Here we go.
Can't wait. Opposite sides of the matchup. I'll give you the extra hot take. BDD's Azir is better than Faker's. That's it.
Ooh.
That's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to be honest here. Faker's Azir is second class to Easyhoon's Azir. So
yeah, the greatest T1 Azir of all time is Easyhoon.
Yeah,
obviously,
so
both of them.
I'll allow BDD to slide into there. Okay.
Obviously, both of them are, I'm going to say, pretty much mastered that champion, but slight edge to BDD there. Bot lane, it's got to be Teddy. I mean, no AD carry to me was close. Okay, aiming was close. But Teddy had...
Aiming on misfortune was close. Absolutely.
Teddy was just incredibly consistent the entire split. You basically, I think there's maybe 2 games where you say, Teddy underperformed that game. Maybe 1 out of 40 plus, 45 plus. That's all you were saying.
This is my warning here for Gen.G. Do not let Teddy get Kalista. Do not let this man get the hands on the spears here because that will be a quick death sentence.
Neither of you. No Senna. I don't want that.
That's a different story entirely here because, hey, you're talking about Kalista. It's the absolute pop-off damage here coming through from Teddy. That has been a strong pick for T1. It's been strong over the course of many regions, but especially over playoffs here for T1. This has been a real power pick for them, and getting it down in the bot lane hands for Teddy, you got to be given the edge here to that ADC.
And this is the biggest, I think this is really where you're going to see, okay, we need that super hyper carry ruler in this series because Teddy's been doing that all split for T1. And you remember the last time they played, they got a Feliosed by ruler in that first game. So He can.
Yeah.
He's still absolutely capable of carrying a game, and
Hey.
I think Gen.G needs it.
You got to be watching out for the, good old 200 years of experience from Riot coming through and changing the game on you. And then at the second point here, be careful of the Vayne pick coming through here for Ruler. We know that sometimes Ruler says, okay, guys, everyone else, you can do whatever you're going to do on the team here. I'm going to be the guy late game here. I'm going to get strong and we're going to end it. That's how it's going to go. So be careful. That is one that Ruler sometimes likes to go to in these type of situations.
Yeah, it's the culmination of the spring split. This is when the crazy picks have got to come out. You're not saving them for the midseason invitational. You're not saving them for summer when 3 patches have happened since then. So bring out the crazy picks in this series.
Hey, you're not saving it to try and get blown out by G2 this time. It's no problem.
No,
you got to go here, bring it all out of here. No holding back.
When we throw in the supports, effort versus life, I can't see Kellen really getting any starts in this series. Second and third team.
I don't think he should.
He shouldn't. Second and third team, all pro supports. Obviously, I think life likes more just kind of sticking to Ruler and buffing him up, making sure that he can carry the game. So if they pick a Vayne or something, then that's going to be great for them. We know effort when he's on Playmakers, it is a beauty to watch. I just hope. I'm tired of Nautilus, man. I want less Nautilus. It used to be a fun pick. Now it's just.
I mean, it's fun when Doing B plays him, and I say it's fun when Doing B plays him because again, you put other mid laners playing him. It's not really that fun to watch. You kind of get the what was it? The 1 in 6, 1 in 8 humanoid treatment type of thing.
I don't think he had a kill,
but I've blocked that one out of my mind here already. Thank God. Let's see some exciting picks here for effort because I'm telling you, if we're going to be seeing a T1 victory here, effort has got to be a major part of it. And the one section here of this one that we really gave, the slight edge to the Gen.G side is that mid lane matchup, Faker BDD. I'm expecting effort to put that attention to that mid lane here, make sure he is making BDD's life a living hell. That is going to be what I think could be quite an X factor here is effort being able to roam up. Teddy staying safe down in the bottom lane all by himself and getting that jump on BDD here.
And when you combine the bot lanes in the 2v2, probably doesn't change. You still give the edge to T1.
Yeah, especially in the team fights, even though I think in team fights, you're talking about how great Ruler can be there. Team fights, I think, is absolutely where effort is going to start shining even more so for the T1 side. His communication and his engage abilities here. That is going to be a major difference maker.
It's the final weekend for a while that's going to have big, meaningful games. I guess the LPL finals will actually be dragged out towards the end of the week. But you have FPX EDG on Saturday. The big Grande finals, T1 Gen.G, also on the Saturday. And then Sunday, the juicy matchup of IG versus TES. We'll recap them. We'll see if it's day of for these finals, but at the very least, we'll recap it all on Monday. We might squeak in a show on the weekend, though. Those are some banger games, man.
Hey, I think this one is going to be an unreal weekend here for League of Legends fans. Stay home, get yourself some awesome snacks, stay in front of your TV, computer, and watch these games.
And enjoy it, because after this weekend, it might be dark times for a little while for competitive League as we have to wait for summer split. There's no MSI to carry us over. What do we do?
We got to call Tyler 1 and tell him to set up the T1 mid-season invitational.
Oh yeah, EU Masters, boys. That's what carries over.
Yeah.
The future talents of North America. Just check out EU Masters. In about a year and a half, they'll be over to the LCS playing for the single world seed that they'll be getting in 2021.
Hey, the checks are already being drawn up.
Yeah, they're already, and they're sizable. They're approaching $1 million already. But that's it today for League Unlock. Mark and Eric here with you guys as always. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you on the flippity flop.